everyone and welcome back to Leaf Yarns podcast. I'm Ellie and I'm your host. Today is Thursday the 20th of February 2019 and this is episode 11. So I'm coming to you from Exeter, which is in the southwest of England, and we're in my craft room / office. As you're aware, I'm the host of Leaf Yarns podcast. I'm also the designer behind Leaf Yarns Designs and the dyer behind Leaf Yarns. Leaf Yarns is on Etsy and leafyarns.com at the moment, but we'll come to that later. So today I have got 3 knitting projects to show you. I don't have any finished objects. No spinning this week. There's not been enough time. I also don't have any crochet, but I do have lots of shop stuff and a sneak peek towards my next pattern release. So on with the show. Right, so the first project I've been working on is living in this bag here. And this is my Stitch Life bags. I do like this bag, it's really pretty. So I'm knitting the Nerea cardigan by Lurker, who's Fibre Tails, and I'm using this. So it's Juniper Moon Farm Harriet, 100% alpaca, colour 1001, and it looks like this. So I have now got to the point where I'm going into the body of the sweater. So I've swapped onto a circular needle just to show you, cable, you know what I mean. One of these doodles. I haven't got the words today. I've swapped from DP onto a circular needle, just for ease. I was here last time, so I've done a few inches. I fiddled around with lighting today, so when I showed this to you on the camera, you'd be able to see the stitches better. So there we go. I hope you can see this. Isn't it pretty? I'm absolutely in love with this detail down here. And like I said last week, it's fiddly, but it's very worth it. And even if I hold it up close, you're not really going to understand how it's done. But this is the linen stitch, which is lovely. And oh look, better nails this week. It's because I dyed yarn and then painted my nails. Prepared this week. So anyway, I'm using 3.75mm needles now. And oh, it's a dream. I can't wait to be able to wear this. But I've been so busy, I've had barely any knitting time this week, personal knitting time. I've been doing lots of other knitting, but not stuff like this. That's so fun. So my deadline for this has gone right out the window, as has the deadline for my next one. Self-imposed deadlines, but you know, deadlines nonetheless. So I'll put that one away. I'll put that over there. So my next project is the Oxbow cardigan, which is this one by Andrea Mowry. There we go. And I'm using Rico Designs Creative Melange Glitz Chunky in the 008 colour. And I'm now at the point where I have to join the sleeves. So it is looking, let's get the right side. My side, your side, my side. Right, so you'll see your side. Like that. There we are. It's not in the middle of a row this time. Ta-da! Isn't it pretty? So there we go. Absolutely love it. I like both sides, but that's the outside. So again, this is on 8mm carbons. I'll show it to you the right way up this week, because I can. And like I said, I've not had much knitting time this week, but I have done, turn it round, I've done from here. So that's a few repeats, and I'm doing the decreases up the neck now. So I've got to stop beating myself up about getting things finished. Yes, I want to do the Make 9 this year, and I will make 9 projects this year without a doubt, but they don't have to be massive ones like this. I think I might have set myself up to fail, but we shall see. You know, I have all the intention in the world of actually doing them, but they just may not all get done. So there we go. You see it's all sparkly. Look at it. Sparkles. Because I'm a sparkle girl. There we go. So that can go back down there. Now the final thing that I have been knitting a lot on this week is a test knit for Mina, who's Mina Phillip, or Knitting Expat, as everyone knows her. She's got a lovely podcast, brilliant designer. The green and purple jumper I wore last week, she designed as well. So I'm knitting the Assymetric hat. I need to just tuck that in there because that's my pattern notes. So here it is. So I will hold it a bit closer for you to see. You can see the stitches. So this, so far I've used one ball. I have this much left of my first ball. And the yarn I'm using is some old stash. Now I bought this originally for me to design something in, but it seemed appropriate. So it is Cashmere Yak, and it's the Little Knitting Company Luxury Blend. And it's 42% cashmere, 40% yak, 18% virgin wool. And the colour it doesn't have. Now I don't know why, but on the ball bands it doesn't have anything where it should be. So it's this. And it's so scrumptious and squishy and warm. Oh, it's so lovely. So this really has been my main knitting this week. I will admit I have a bad needle yarn relationship going on between these, but I'm persevering. This yarn, although it's lovely because of the content of it, it doesn't have a lot of give, and I mean it does stretch a little bit, but at the same time it sticks to needles. Now I couldn't use my carbons because it was like knitting with sandpaper, which just was going to ruin the yarn. So I swapped over to my Addy needles, which are old. They're not old. They're about, I don't know, 8 years old. So yeah, I don't know really what else I can tell you about this without giving too much away. It is a joy to knit. The pattern is absolutely wonderfully written, as are all Mina's patterns. But I will be considering giving this to someone for their birthday. I'm not saying who that someone is, because I don't know if they watch. But this may be going to someone in the autumn as a birthday present. Not that I don't like it. It is very beautiful, but this person will appreciate the content of this yarn. So that is the Assymetric. So yes, I do have more of this yarn in another colour, but I shall use that one to design something with instead. Oh, and that's living in my new I love a good fingering bag because it's fabulous and it fits perfectly. See? Project perfect. So that is all my personal knitting and test knitting I've been doing this week. The rest of the knitting I have been doing is swatching the shop self-striping yarns, and I have started on a garment and some mitts that I have. You know, I've had the pattern written for ages, and I've just not had the courage to go ahead and do it. But I realised that, you know, having said I want to release all my patterns this year, I better get on and do it. So the first one is the garment one, and I am using this beauty. So it's Titus by Bar Mu, and it's in the coal colourway. It's attached. So there we go. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? So this is 70% British wool and 30% UK alpaca. It's 100% British, spun and dyed in Yorkshire. And the wool is a blend of 50% Wensleydale long wool, 20% Blueface Leicester. It's 350 yards or 320 metres per 100 grams. But this is a fingering weight. So there you go. You know that I'm going to be bringing out a pattern in fingering weight. I've had the sketches and it all written up for ages, and I've been talking to a friend of mine, Carrie. Hi Carrie. Because something similar came out a while ago and I was like, oh, should I go ahead? But I realised actually that my pattern is different enough that it is different. So that will be coming out hopefully in May, maybe April. It depends how quickly I can get it test knitted. So if you're willing to test knit a garment for me, you will need between 3 and 4 skeins of finger weight yarn, preferably a solid or semi-solid colour. It can be speckled, that's fine, but not too heavily variegated or self-striping it, because you won't be able to see the details very much. But if you wouldn't mind test knitting a garment for me, then you know, please send me a message on Ravelry or on Instagram. Okay, so the other thing I'm doing is the mittens, and those are in worsted and bulky. Now they're not winter mittens, they are spring and autumn mittens. But I will show you those next week because those have already been test knit. I just decided to knit them again so that I could update the pattern and then put the pattern out. Just with new images sort of thing. So there will be that pattern coming out in 2 weeks. So the middle of March, and then hopefully Titus garment will be end of April, middle of May. I want to bring it out by my birthday, which is exactly the middle of May. So I will now talk. Do I talk about the shop stuff? No, okay. This week I had some more acquisitions come through the post. After raving last week about higher hires, I went ahead and got myself some 5mm ones. There we go. They're just stainless steel higher hires. Look at the little panda, it's so cute. There he is. Hi panda. I love them. And every one of these comes with this little light bulb stitch marker. It's really cute. And then on the back of the packets, they've got a project that you can try. But I think it's a bit of a wrong marketing thing here, because you're not going to knit fingering weight socks on 5mm needles. Just saying. Would have been better to put a hat. You know. Anyway, the other thing I got is something I've wanted for a long time and couldn't find one that didn't cost about £10 or £11 shipping to get to the UK. And then this lady started selling them on Etsy. Now the seller is Friends in Fibre, and it is the Anne Budd Knits Handy Gauge Ruler. So I'm holding it on paper so you can see. So you hold it up over your knitting and it tells you your gauge, which I think is really handy, and it's got it in black. And then if I hold it on this pattern, hopefully you'll be able to see the one in white. So I thought that was really good, and I think it was £4 plus £1 shipping. So for £5 I've got a tool that I will use forever and ever when it comes to things, because it'll make things a lot easier for me as a designer, and also when I'm trying to get gauge test knitting for other people, or when I'm just working on normal projects. You know, it goes from 9 stitches to 4 stitches in an inch. So it's not too bad. I love it. Here we go. So it's the, let's put it that way. And bud knits. So yeah, have a look on Etsy. I really recommend it. It's been really useful, especially with my garment I'm doing at the moment. So that's those acquisitions. Now I do have some yarn. It's just here. Hold on. There we go. Move that one. I thought it was closer than it was, sorry. So, I was a bit naughty. Because I'm subscribed to Isolde Teague's newsletter, and I've been speaking, I get notified when she gets new stuff in. I've been speaking to my friend Ash, who is Sunflower Knits, and she lives in Canada, and she has spoken about this yarn, and I was like, oh, now then. So I bit the bullet and bought 5 skeins of Nightshades American Como by Harrisville Designs. So I've got Talk Radio. Now this one is black with speckles of purple in it. Isn't that beautiful? There we go. Talk Radio. So this is American Como and wool. It's woolen spun in America, and it's approximately 250 yards per 100 grams. Now this is a yarn that I've bought to knit up one of my designs, but I wasn't sure exactly how much yardage I would need, so I got 5 instead of 4, because I figured, you know, if I've got the extra skein, there's enough here to make a hat and some gloves. But there is a little bits of VM still in it, but that's fine. I can just pick that out as I knit it. I don't mind that at all. I've never knit with Como. I've never touched Como. And oh, let me tell you, it is wonderful. It's so squishy and bouncy, and I've been told that it blooms even more after it's been washed. So this is going to be so cosy. And just look how beautifully deep that colour is. So there's 10 shades. Now, I really would like to get another couple, but the only downside is its price, because yes, it's good yardage, but and also managing to get it from a solder, I managed to not have to pay import tax. That would have been even more crippling. But it is £22 a skein. So I was, you know, in my head I was taking a big risk on whether or not, you know, it would be worth it, because I have sensitive skin. But I'm not disappointed at all, and I think it's worth every penny. So I'm going to let this marinate in the stash for a bit until I'm ready to cast on for the next pattern. So there we go. So you'll be seeing a lot of this year. There we go. Right. So, on to regular shop stuff. I have got 4 new colourways this week. 2 self-striping and 2 speckle. And I have done a bit more prep work on the yarns that I've already dyed. So you've already seen, of my new colourways, you've already seen Butterfly Plant, Iridescent, Bramble, Egg Hunt, China Blue, Dewy Leaves, Pheasant, Foliage, and Delicate Sunset. But last week I'd only knitted up the bramble and the egg hunt as the new ones from last week. So this week I've done 4 more swatches and I've wrapped the rest around card. So just to show you what I'm talking about, because I feel a bit like I'm rambling and you don't have a clue. So this is the egg hunt swatch, which is blown right out because of that bright light. Here we go. Eggplant. Egg hunt, sorry. And then I put it on card. So you can see it wrapped around the card and then swatched. So you get an idea of what the colours look like before and after they're knitted. So I've done that for the ones I've already swatched, so they've got egg hunt, you've got butterfly plant, we've got iridescent, and we've got bramble. And then this week, the ones that I managed to knit up, we have got China blue. See if I can put it in better light. China blue. I'm just going to move a light a minute. Here we go. That didn't really help. Okay. So this one, that's the correct colour order. So it starts and ends with the darker blues, but this one is more grey and this one is more navy. So there we go, it's China blue. And then we have got dewy leaves. Focus, there we go. And pheasant. This is absolutely wonderful. I love this one so much. Yes, you can see sparkles because I like to knit my swatches on sparkly yarn. And then foliage, which I am already holding up the wrong way. There we go. Ta-da. You can see on here the 2 different darker greens. So those ones are ones that I showed you last week in the ball. Now the only one I didn't manage to get swatched up this week was the Delicate Sunset. Here it is. So you've got the light grey and then the creamy echru colour, and then you've got this rich golden yellow, and then this more pumpkin-y colour, I suppose, glorious sun sort of colour. And then those are the ones I had dyed up for last week for the shop update. But the ones that I hadn't swatched I didn't put in the update, so those will be in the update this week, which is tomorrow, Friday the 1st of March at 6 PM. So the new colours I want to have a bit of fun with, so I have dyed up Paint Palette. Well, that's blowing right out, so it's like this. So it's pink, blue, orange and yellow. Yes, it is neon. So you can see here there's neon shadow. There we go. So I'm hoping to get this one swatched up, but I'm not making any promises. If I don't get it swatched up, I will just put it up for sale with this image. And then the other self-striping one I have this week is Blue Flowers, which is absolutely lovely. There it is. Now these are just bits that I've wound off the big balls so that I knew I wasn't going to waste much. That one's Blue Flowers. I really like this one. So those are my new self-striping ones that are going up in the shop. They will all be in the shop this week. So there's another 7 self-stripings going in the shop this week. And then for my speckle colours, I have got Coral Reef, which is absolutely stunning. So it's sort of this turquoisey green sea colour, and then it's got lots of speckles. It's got blue and orange and a bit of black tiny bit of red and a bit of brown. Really pretty. So I've got some of those to go up. And then I've got Pretty Gritty, which is this one. So this is, let's see if I can show you that way. There we go. It's grey and it's a tonal grey, and then it's got black and pink speckles with a few bits of a sort of rusty colour in there. Now this is the yarn that I have decided I'm going to be knitting my one of my Make 9 in 2019 jumpers. The one that I have to hold with the mohair. What's it called? It's by Pretty Little Knits, or Pretty Knits. I can't remember. It'll be in the show notes. So there we go. So these are all dyed on merino nylon, superwash merino nylon. Now the self-stripings are to order, but these ones I've dyed lots, so those will just be available, and what's in the shop will be in the shop. If I run out, I will dye more and put them up again next week. The self-striping yarns will be up on Etsy, but that's all I'll be stocking in Etsy is the pre-orders for the self-striping yarns. And I will, having put out a poll on Instagram, I'm going to keep Etsy up for another month, so until the end of March like I was saying, but then I will be closing it. Yes, okay, it's easy to shop from Etsy, and I hear you because I'm an Etsy shopper as well, but I can't justify all the fees. So everything, all the self-striping and the speckles and everything else is up on my leafyarns.com website. So I would like people to start going to the website if possible. If you don't feel so inclined, you know, or you need a nudge every now and then, fine, I'm quite happy to nudge people. But I would rather try and get away from Etsy before it becomes even more prohibitive. So that's the end of shop talk. Now we're doing the cowl talk. So the Leaf Yarns cowl will start tomorrow. The hashtag is Leaf Yarns Cowl 1, and I'm going to be using Leaf Yarns cowl for all the cowls on this podcast, and then have the number at the end as to which cowl it is. So it starts tomorrow, which is Friday the 1st of March, and it'll end on the 1st of May. You can use any of my patterns or yarns. There are quite a few on there. If you go into my profile, I have got lots under my designs and lots under my patterns for sale. And I know that over the years a lot of my yarn has gone out into the world. So dig deep in your stash and, you know, pull something out. If you haven't got any of my patterns or yarns, then, you know, by all means come and get some. I've deliberately done the cowl to be 2 months, so that even if you don't have any of my yarn or my patterns, you have time to get something and then still make something. I have the Abbey hat here, which is my latest design to show you. Now, bless her, my Abbey, not the hat Abbey, found me this head mannequin, but it's a skull. It's very cute. But Neve said I had to have the hat over the eyes. So this is the Abbey hat. And I can show you it on a head without having to wear it. So there we go. So this is one of my designs. This is available on Ravelry. Pop that back down there. So, you know, come and join the Ravelry group. Join the cowl in the thread if you're going to participate, or, you know, use the hashtag Leaf Yarns Cowl 1 on Instagram or Facebook, and I look forward to seeing what everyone starts to make. So you can find me on Instagram as Leaf Yarns. It is just shop talk and podcast talk on Instagram now. You can find me on Facebook as the Leaf Yarns podcast. There is a group over there, and of course on Ravelry as Leaf Yarns. Please come and join the Leaf Yarns podcast group on Ravelry. It'll be so nice, nice to see you all. My words are failing me. Right, I will see you all next week. Take care, everyone, and enjoy your knitting. Bye.